So I've been seeing your video talking about a new African Republic in America, and it's a welcome development. We support anybody that is fighting for his freedom. So what do you think that we can do individually, not collectively, as I am now, individually, to help you in order to actualize their dream? Hence, you are helping us to actualize Biafra. We are working together. So what do you think that individually we can do to help you in seeing that your freedom is guaranteed?
Yes, my brother Haki, you heard his question. Somebody is calling on the red line. Please, the caller on the red line, can you hold on, or should you? Can you call back, please? If you can call back, better. If you can hold on, then you can hold on, please, because someone is already on the line. Thank you. So, Haki, go ahead and answer his question.
Yes. I heard him mention saying something about Marzi Kamnu saying that y'all was Republicans and things of that nature. I'm gonna answer the second part of that question too. I would like brothers and sisters to understand that when I be doing my videos and things of that nature, and when I be talking about political issues and political parties and what people believe in things of that nature, I want people to understand that not to get me confused, that I don't necessarily disagree with what people call themselves politically and what they identify with politically. The only thing that I'm trying to teach brothers and sisters in Biafra land is the fact that the politics in America is different than the politics in what we would call Africa or Biafra land or Igbo land when it comes to things like Republicans, Democrats, and things of that nature. And for me to clarify that real quick, so people can understand, so they won't get me confused when I do disagree with those type of things. What I'm saying is that black people in America, that we call a new African, our struggle, we have been governed by white people. Our 401 years of existence in this country, we've been governed and oppressed, murdered, genocided by white people. As in Africa, you're being oppressed by people with the same skin color, the same shade. You're being governed by the same people with the same skin color, the same shade. Don't get me twisted. All I'm saying is that what we're being governed by, what you would call a Republican or a Democrat, we see no difference. We see white people are part of the same power structure in the same government that continues to let our genocide take place in this country. So when I'm educating my brothers and sisters in Africa that most of us blacks in America, we don't really identify with Republican or Democrat. We're only saying that we're not identifying with our oppressor in this land, America, because we don't see no difference, because nothing has changed 401 years under Republicans or Democrats. Now moving into his other question. This is why things like this took place. Like when our ancestors got, sold out of Biafra land and brought to America, I'm just trying to recreate the history and reteach the history to our brothers and sisters across the world who don't know about the struggle inside of America that's been taking place for 400 years, that started with those Igbos that were brought here as captives, as captured. So what that brother is saying when he was saying that we're trying to fight and struggle for a republic of New Africa on this land, we're not really saying that. We're just continuing a struggle that actually took place. When these brothers and sisters got here, they were fighting on the boats. They were fighting when they got off the boats. And what was they fighting for? When they got here, they refused to be slaves. They refused to be captives of these colonialists, these European nations. So our struggle has been resistance since our ancestors were brought here, the Igbo people. And where I'm at in Virginia, like I stated earlier, is that Virginia is considered Igbo land because this is where the most Igbos were brought to in America, to Virginia, the state of Virginia. When you come to Virginia, you will see Igbo culture. We even have our own Igbo village in Northern Virginia. So my research and of my ancestry and things of that nature were predicated off resistance. So when these Africans, these Igbos were brought here, what do people think they were fighting for? They were fighting to get back to Africa. They were fighting to get back to Igbo land. They were fighting to get back to Biafra land. As a last resort, and I want my brothers and sisters to understand it, as a last resort, if they couldn't get back to Igbo land, if they couldn't get back to Biafra land, we were going to create our own on this land by any means necessary. Now, a lot of people see that as far-fetched, but like I said, these brothers, these Igbo ancestors who died for that and who spilled their blood on American soil fighting for that, they didn't think that it wasn't possible. All they was trying to fight was to get back to what they only knew, which is sovereignty, nationhood, their own nation. So when we say the Republic of New Africa, which I'm a citizen of in America, that's just a continuation of Biafra land. It's just a continuation of Igbo land. So I don't want brothers and sisters to think it's far-fetched that, oh no, you can never get land in America. You can never get a nation in America. These brothers, a lot of these Africans that got murdered and killed, they had their own on this land. It's just the white man took it back from them. They had freed themselves. They had liberated themselves. They had their own independent settlements. They had their own independent everything here in America. Igbo people. You see what I'm saying? So it's not far-fetched. But what I would tell you, my brother, the ways you can help us who are still struggling for this, Republic of New Africa on this soil, but we know our ultimate goal is to go back home. There's no other goal but to go back home. But what I would tell you is to get educated about the struggle of the black people, the Igbo peoples, the Africans that were brought here. What were they doing 401 years on this soil? Because the white history or the people who revised our story, they would paint the picture that we just sat over here and just got our ass whooped, just got murdered, just got hung. We just took this abuse. We just took this dehumanization. That is the biggest lie in history. No, we were killing them. We were murdering them. We were fighting back to get back to Biafra land. We've resisted ever since we stepped on this soil. So that's why we know for a fact that the majority of slave revolts, I would tell you this, my brother, study the history of slave revolts in America, slave insurrections, meaning the Africans who fought back, who did not just take being in chains, who didn't just take being on a plantation and didn't study and figure out what were they fighting for? What was their ultimate end goal? What were they trying to do? It's only twofold. One, go back to Biafra land. Two, create Biafra land here. And I also, before I finish, I also have on my website where General Ikechukwu stated clearly in one of his speeches and essays is that my brothers and sisters in the Western Hemisphere, if they can't get back to Biafra land in the Eastern Hemisphere, there will be a Biafra land in the Western Hemisphere. And we have evidence of that.
That's correct. Yes, my brother, you heard Kweli explanations, and if you have something to add to your question or to say, go ahead before I will come in, because he just touched a lot of things based on